Hello, guys. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on the time that you're watching me from across the globe. This is, as usual, Evans Okongo from Kenya, and welcome to my YouTube channel. It has been quite some time before we actually gave each other some stories that build us up. And today, being a Sunday, I've been doing the 1, 2, 3 issues of life. I feel I'm relatively free, but before I go to wherever I intended to be this afternoon, I've seen it good to actually salute you from wherever you are across the globe so that we can share little issues. Then I'll be going to where I wanted to be because I cannot be able to be flogging where I'll be going. Today, I'm so happy, so exhilarated, so super happy, in fact, super excited because it is very sunny. Yesterday it was very, very much rainy. Here in Africa, the weather is like, it's a mad weather. Sometimes it's very hot, sometimes it's very cold, sometimes it's very rainy, sometimes it's very sunny. But all in all, we are used. And for those of you who have never lived along the tropics, here in Kenya, there is that greatest latitude that we call the equator, which equates the world through the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. So if you are across the globe and you've never had the opportunity to come and enjoy the warm sunshine, then welcome to Africa. Major welcome to Kenya, the hub of ICT. Information here is where people are ICT oriented. This is a place where even money is electronically transferred. Kenya is a very good place. I like Kenya. I love it. Oh, my country, my homeland. Very excellent. Very, very, very welcoming people. Kenyans are very good people. Today, as the topic goes, I'm proud to be a Kenyan. Very much proud to be a Kenyan. Why? Kenya is a country that has got over 40 tribes. And in those tribes, of course, they are spread across the 8 regions of Kenya. These regions are having leaders who lead us. And above all, we have what we call the county government. In fact, Kenya has a federal government and a county government. So there are 2 types of governments. The first government, which is the federal government, is called the Republic of Kenya. It's led by a president. You know, our very good president, our very focal president, our world leader, President William Ruto, is actually the 50th president from the predecessors who were Jomo Kenyatta, who actually was in power from 1963 when Kenya got independence to 1978 when he passed out. That is, he died while in office. Then from there came the second president of the Republic of Kenya. That is President the late Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi, who led Kenya from August 1978 to the year 2002. He had led the Republic of Kenya for 24 years. Did a lot of achievements during his tenure. Actually, we were born, some of us, and during his tenure, he expanded the number of universities, and they continued extending to be many. He ensured that there were hospitals built, which he called by the name Nyayo. Almost every region in Kenya, if you go there, you hear the term Nyayo Hospital. It means they were built the time when President Daniel Arap Moi was alive. And that is, he was following the footsteps of the predecessor, who was President Jomo Kenyatta. The President Jomo Kenyatta had a philosophy called Harambe. Harambe is a philosophy that means pulling together all resources. Kenya was just a very young country and therefore could not be able to take care of itself. So he came up with the mantra Harambe to mean that it is a government of unity, where people are to be united irrespective of their color, irrespective of their tribe, irrespective of their age. They came together and built the nation with the little resources that we had. By the time Kenya had independence, we were only 7 million. But after that, we have been bearing and the country has been expanding in its population. By the time Moi left, Kenyans were over 40 million. Then the third president who came was one Emilio Mwai Kibaki, very good man, who during his time, we now knew what it means to do a lot of development. He was an economist himself, a very astute man, a good statesman during his time. He led Kenya 10 calm years from 2002 to 2012. During his tenure, he brought the ease of doing business in the country. In fact, it is during his time that even the denominations of our currency changed. He brought back some big notes which we used to really love seeing. And above all, he used not to speak much, but what I remember about our president is that he was so calm, could say a word or two, but he was a man who meant business. Wherever he was in leadership, a lot of things did happen. He expanded the highways from the potholes that used to be there because of the rise of corruption. He was able to tame the aspect of corruption. In fact, I remember when he was being inaugurated as the third president of Kenya, he did much. What he did actually, he said from now on, he is going to have a zero toleration of corruption. You know, corruption is everywhere, whether in developed countries or in non-developed countries or in developing countries. There's a lot of corruption. So here in Kenya, there were a lot of cartels doing 1, 2, 3, but during the tenure of President Mwai Kibaki, in as much as there were other more scandals, like the other scandals that were brought up by one John Gidongo, I'm happy to say that during his tenure, we had a very, very vibrant president who led Kenya in a very amicable manner, who led Kenya until we had what we call the Thika Superhighway. You know, this superhighway was just a dream. And Kenyans had never seen a road that had more than 2 lanes. But this one, it was 8 lanes. You might think when you are in Nairobi, you are in the West, in the developed countries like United States of America or even Germany, or even England. You might think you are among some streets in England. And I want to tell you that Africa, while President Mwai Kibaki, who never loved traveling very much, but who had a mind of developing it, he made Kenya to be a global country. In fact, I remember one president, a retired president of the United States of America called Bill Clinton, when he was asked which president would you want to meet before you maybe are old, he said, I would want to meet President Mwai Kibaki. Why? It is during Kibaki's era that Kenyans were able to have what we call the free education, free primary education, which is one among the Millennium Development Goals that were looking forward to make Kenya a civilized nation. So it is during this tenure that even books started to be distributed by the government. There before, in the former presidents, parents were buying books. But through Kibaki, Kibaki did achieve by bringing books to school, stationaries to school, he reduced the school fee. In fact, the life was good. And we thank that we had such a statesman who later succumbed because of old age and the sicknesses. And he was laid to rest in a very amicable manner. He was given a state funeral. Then after that, there came another president, the 4th president. That is President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. This is one man I would never forget. He became a president when I had just started working in the Kenyan government, and I'm so happy about this president. By the way, there's no president who has come who's bad. With me, I believe every president is the best. He did achieve what he did during his time. So what Uhuru did, number one, he extended the services that Mwai Kibaki did. In fact, one among the things that Uhuru did that I was so happy about during the COVID-19 period, that is during the coronavirus period, he reduced the tax of Kenyans who are working. That one I salute. You know, I could go not working. We were actually put in one place. There was quarantine. There was no way you could go places. There was a curfew. People could not move from place to place. So we were at home. We did a lot of developments, and at the end of the day, we were given a cut in our pay. I was so happy. This one I can live to remember and say thank you for the times that you had with us as Kenyans. That's one thing. Another thing he did, he ensured that the equipment that were lacking in most of the hospitals across the globe, across the country, he made sure that the hospitals were well built and they were well maintained with the sufficient workforce, and above all, with the sufficient infrastructure. He brought what we call the Big Four agenda, part of which was to ensure that the electricity could go to almost every home across Kenya. So he increased the homes that consume electricity from a paltry below 50% to over 70% of the Kenyan population. That means if you walk into Kenya, at least everywhere or anywhere, you can easily spot a place where there is electricity. So I am so happy. He continued with the tax regime, which he actually introduced, and made sure that he curbed corruption in a way. And at the end of it all, he was able to make good roads. Infrastructure, he really did a very great deal. In fact, I will live remembering him because of the infrastructure. He is the first president to even start a shipyard. In Kenya, we have what we call the Kenya Coast Guard, which made a ship here in Kenya. We have Kenyan ships. I'm so happy. That is a president I live not to forget. Above all, during his regime, as much as there were a lot of issues, he was able to move with the country proper. He continued to help us. Before him, I did say that there was Moi Kibaki. It was during Kibaki's era that we Kenyans changed the constitution. We did what we call a promulgation of the Kenyan constitution on 27th of August 2010. During this day, Kenya now forgot the initial constitution that it got from the colonial government. And then it started its own new constitution that now entrenched whatever we see as the federal government and the county governments. So now we are in a devolved government where we have governors who are actually like small presidents in smaller regions, where we are able now to guide Kenyans in a more amicable manner. So that's what actually Kibaki did, and Uhuru. Uhuru was such a wonderful person. He was the people's president. He was the first president I saw who can easily salute citizens. Wherever he walks, you know, he can walk and pap maramoja. You meet somewhere and you even shake hands. Very good gentleman that actually Kenya got. From there, now our fifth president, President William Samoei Ruto, a very wonderful man. One thing I like about him is that he's very resilient. Whether you take him to the left or to the right, he is focused. I like that. Actually, that is what has made me feel happy about being a Kenyan. So those are our 5 presidents. Kenya holds elections every 5 years. I believe we did one in 2022 where we elected President William Samoei Ruto. After this, we are now going to have another election in the year 2027, where a lot of aspirants are trying to build up. We pray for the best for those who are interested. But if you are one person who likes following the Kenyan politics, I believe going forward, you'll be knowing who is who, what coalition has come, because we have been now starting the politics of coalitions. The coalition that is ongoing right now, led by President William Samoei Ruto, is called the Kenya Kwanza Coalition. Then there was the other one, which was called the Azimio Coalition, which was led by the opposition leader of that time, who has actually right now entered into government, and he no longer calls himself Azimio Coalition, but instead we have what we call the United Opposition, which is actually taking place as at now. But for those of you who are politicians and who like politicking, you can follow some political analysts. They can analyze for you. What I was just talking this morning is that I'm happy and proud Kenyan, because Kenya is a very good country with a lot of diversification. President William Ruto, in as much as people talk ill of him, one thing I like about him, he means what he says and he says what he means. So though people call him a liar, okay, that's my opinion. Though people call him a liar, they give him names like Kasongo, I don't know, Zakayo, blah, blah. Okay, those are their thoughts. But what about my own thought? He has brought the issue of a fertilizer, a subsidy. People cry foul, but those who cry are those who have not attempted. What I can attest, because I have been doing that, President William Samoei Ruto has brought what we call the government subsidy of fertilizer, and we are able to see that. And actually, before his coming, maize was scarce and other cereals in Kenya. But now we can easily say that Kenya is a country that has what we call got what we call food security. It's very easy to find food in Kenya. Therefore, Kenyans are very, very, very okay with that. There are other issues which are ongoing, which I believe by the time he finishes his tenure, whether 5 years or 10 years, whichever that God will permit him, I know he will also become a very, very good president, just like other presidents. If anything, there is no president who can be equal with the other. Everybody was born with diverse minds. Everybody has his own thoughts. So I like the thoughts that the Kenyans accept, because whoever wins, that is the one that God has chosen for us. And as at now, our president is one William Samoei Ruto, whom we love and appreciate very much. Kudos wherever you are, Mr. President. I follow you much. I see what you normally do with our Kenyans wherever you find an opportunity. Kindly remember to also come to our village one day, Gukuru village. Come visit it. Come also, I host you to kunywa chai na mandazi, because I've seen you do that elsewhere in some places, and I'm so happy. It's my desire that one day I also meet the president. He's my president. I know it's not easy to come to State House because I follow a lot of protocol. But if you decide and come and say hi to us and maybe meet our people around, I'll appreciate. That's one thing that I've been learning that's taking place across the globe. Other than that, now we have other leaders who are actually governing various counties. Now these ones are also elected. So for those of my students who follow social studies, I believe now you know the history of the presidents who are there, because the only president that I did not live to see was President Jomo Kenyatta, who was the founder president of Kenya. But the rest, four, I can vividly claim that I saw some. I even sang before them, like I sang before Moi. I've seen Uhuru Kenyatta, I saw Mwai Kibaki, a lot of things that they have done. So what I want to say, as we grow, we know we are going to have other good statesmen who will take the country forward. Whenever you come into Kenya, create an impact so that people can positively remember what you did. It's good to be a leader. If God has given you the mandate, I believe you can continue and serve the country in a more amicable manner. Otherwise, those of us watching from the globe and across the world, I want to appreciate for the time that you have had. When you come to Kenya, just to know that Kenya is a very good country, a country that has got a mantra that says Hakuna Matata, no problem. No problem at all. We love Kenya. We live in Kenya. We will die in Kenya and we will be buried in Kenya. And after the burial and of course our death, later we will resurrect and go to heaven, where we will enjoy the blissful center of rest with our Savior and the Creator. Before that, I want to say, Karibu sana Kenya. This is a very good country. We love it and we love God. Kenya is multi-sectoral. Even if it's a region, they are Muslims. there are Christians, there are Hindus, there are those who have even believe in the African religion. So choose the one you want, but with me, I'm a Christian and I'm happy about that. That's why you see me occasionally preaching a close, but I'm not in any way trying to curtail anybody not to be what he or she wants to be. Choose, because by nature, human beings are religious. So when you are religious, God is happy and you are able to move from one place to the other. So this afternoon, in case you are new here and you have never met Evans Okongo from Kenya, today I've decided to give you a vlog on the political issues of Kenya and why I love Kenya. Kenya is a very good country, and I would want you to also visit it so that you can boost our tourism industry. And even if you are within the country, just walk around. Like I'm planning to go to Kapenguria to see the home of the Kapenguria 6, where people were taken and detained before the independence. I want to go to Watamu Marine National Park to go see the national park. You know, when you are a Kenyan, you traverse. There are a lot of diverse climates from the coast to the northern part of Kenya, where there are some deserts. There are places which are so green, like in the central region. You know, there are places which are very tropical, like where I come from here in Migori. You know, you can enjoy as much as you can. So if you are new and you've never had the appetite to walk and see Kenya and sort of see how Kenya lives, it's my prayer that kindly save some little pennies this moment so that you get an opportunity to walk around and see how Kenya is. Kenya is a very good country. Have a good Sunday. Enjoy yourself. Though you'll be seeing this on a different day other than this Sunday, I want to say thank you very much for listening to my lecture. See you when I can't escape. Tuonane huko mbele. Thank you.